Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about staying calm during the holidays. We're right smack dab in the middle of the holidays right now, and it's a stressful time. I mean, if you're having a great time, it's still stressful because you have more stuff to do that's out of the ordinary, more responsibilities, more places to go, more things to do, more temptations. It goes on and on. So it's really important. And I think this is a great example for how to approach your weight loss all the time to some degree. But during the holidays, you know, instead of just assuming you're just going to act the same, right? Because you can't just always act the same. When you're calm and relaxed and everything's flowing and you don't have to go anywhere or do anything, how are you going to act the same in that situation as when you're just going nonstop and you have all this other stuff to do and there's constantly things to focus on and do and all the rest of it? Like you can force yourself for a little while, but ultimately the state that you're in because of the situation is going to have an impact on you. And so instead of just assuming that you're going to be the same person no matter what the situation is, we start to acknowledge situations and we start to look for ways to deal with them in a strategic, holistic way. And so, one of the easiest ways to maybe not lose weight during the holidays, but certainly maintain and possibly lose is to go to a core strategy that's going to help you not only with the food, but with everything. And so, staying calm during the holidays, making that a focus of yours is really helpful. And it's relaxation, calm are one of these things where you really get the most bang for your buck. When you're, um, because again, if we just focus on willpower, you have to have willpower all day, all night, constantly. Whereas if you focus on calm and relaxation, you go to a fundamental level and change everything above it. So where willpower is a top down thing where you always need it constantly because you're always craving bad stuff, stressed out, freaking out, want to overeat. You always need willpower to stop yourself all the ways. With relaxation and calm, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of doing something that's genuinely relaxing and calming for you. A hot shower, sitting in a hot tub, getting a massage, doing some yoga, doing some meditation, taking a nap, whatever calms you down genuinely. If you do that 5, 10, 15 minutes, what happens is it changes everything else above it. Does it prevent cravings? No. But does it reduce them? Absolutely. Does it increase your ability to say no? Yes, absolutely. So we want to focus on leveraged behaviors, things that when we put some energy and effort into, we get exponential results back. We get compounded results back. Whereas willpower is a one-to-one thing. We constantly need willpower in the moment to stop ourselves. But we want to go deeper and we want to deal with the problem at a more core level. And one of the most effective ways to deal with the holidays is to focus on calm. Because again, you're not just going to support eating better, making healthier food choices, but you're causing yourself to be a more relaxed, calm version of yourself as you go through the holidays. So you will most likely be able to enjoy the holidays more because you're more grounded, you're more calm, you're more centered than you would otherwise be. And so it's a great opportunity to do this. And, in terms of being calm, again, I think there's a million ways to calm yourself down and go do them. But if you want a new way that you haven't tried before, potentially, go click the link in my bio and go get the hypnosis session I give you. It's free. And that is a great way to calm yourself down. It's about 10 minutes. And you listen to that 10-minute session and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll experience it firsthand where 10 minutes of calm turns into hours of reduced cravings, more relaxation, more awareness, a better ability to make the right choices. So go check that session out. And if anyone's any questions, feel free to ask them. What's up, Jen? Balmy Mass. I know it is like 65 degrees here in Massachusetts. It was 10 degrees yesterday, but that's how it goes around here. But yes, it is relatively warm now. It's so funny. Weather's changing all over the place around here. Okay. Should I miss any questions? What's up, Katie? Well, no TikTok questions yet. Will there be TikTok questions in a month? I don't know. Is there still going to be TikTok? I hope so, but I don't know. We'll find out. I guess that's the deadline. I think it's on January 19th or something. What's up, Julie? Yeah. So, I hope everyone's having a good holiday season. I know it's well, I hope everyone's having a nice holiday season. I'm having a great holiday season. A super duper one. But even when I always make this point, I think people miss this sometimes, that even when things are going great, like, I mean, I got this kind of locked down, like the stuff I'll do for the holidays is pretty locked down. I got it. That's kind of what I do. I mean, again, I know, some people that like spontaneity a lot more than me. Um, you know, this may not be the right approach for you, but for people that like kind of routine to things, it is an easier way to live in this environment. There's no question about that. Yeah, Deanna says, loving the calm during the holiday sessions. Yeah, of course you are. Right, stay nice and calm. That's one of the big focus, and program yourself in. And I give that away. So again, I mentioned this to you all, that if you're not in my world, you can go click the link in my bio and get the free hypnosis session. But then I got I made a calm holiday session for you, as well. So that's there waiting for it to go. And what Deanna's talking about is in the Thrive program, there's continued daily morning sessions. And yeah, those are great. I'm glad you like them, Deanna. I think they're great, and they're fun to record, and they're fun to listen to. And it's a nice way to kind of bring ourselves down. And again, it's I guess, I mean, if you want to think of it simplistically, or a way it might be framed in other ways, it's a more holistic approach to weight mastery, as opposed to dieting is not a holistic approach. It's tactical. It's one thing you're going to change, and you're going to change it through willpower. So that's why, the more you see it that way, the better off you're going to be, because you won't be as at the mercy of these stupid diets. The diets trick you because on the surface, they seem completely different. One says don't eat any carbs. One says don't eat any fat. One says count your calories. One says don't eat for 16 hours. One says just eat cabbages. So they seem so different on a surface level. But if you go one level below, it's always the same thing. It's built around one thing: carbs, fat, calories. It's always one thing you're going to focus on, and you're going to change it through your willpower. You're going to consciously force yourself to follow the plan. And as soon as you start to see diets in that light, it's very illuminating, because then you start to realize that every diet out there is the same thing, and they all fail because the exact same reason. It has nothing to do with carbs, has nothing to do with counting calories or points, has nothing to do with how long you cannot. It has nothing to do with the actual tactic itself. It has to do with the way you're trying to follow, is you're trying to force yourself to do this thing. And you can do it for a little while, and then you always end up going back to your normal behaviors. Every time you diet, nothing sticks. You've probably tried 10, 20, 30 diets over the last 30 years. And every time you do a diet, it's not like something from that diet sticks. And now, you're 30 diets later with all these different pieces of diets that are still there. That's not how it works. You do the diet 100% for a couple days or a couple weeks, sometimes a couple months. You do it 100%. And then as soon as you get off track, you stop doing it 100%. And you go right back to what you always did. And that's what you keep finding yourself doing. You do things intensely for a little while, and then you go right back to eventually what you always did. And that's the problem. And so again, if you approach weight loss with a different mindset, that you're really focused on the long-term goal, not just losing weight, but living at your goal weight, I think it starts to force you to look at the strategies you're using and to demand that the strategies are sustainable. Because the sustainability of the strategy you're going to use is the number one factor. So most dieters are just focused on how quickly they can lose the weight. What's the strategy I can use to lose weight as fast as I possibly can? And it is that obsession with how to lose weight as fast as you can that is literally the core problem you're dealing with. Your obsession with losing weight quickly is the number one reason you have not lost the weight at all. Because when all you care about is fast weight loss, you choose extreme plans that are unsustainable. And you just keep repeating that cycle where you do the strategy for a little while, you quit, go back to what you always do. Start a new one for a little while, go back to what you always do. Start a different one for a little while, go back to what you always. It's over and over and over. You can look at your weight loss history. That's what it is. And you think the problem is you, that you can't stick to a diet. And I'm here to tell you that it's not you. It's the diet philosophy. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. It works for a little while. It doesn't work long term. It's fucking proven. Much more evidence a person would need. But Julie says trying not to get too hungry. A lot of holiday foods out at work. Yeah, I get that. So again, I will tell you a strategy. Again, once you can get your fucking head off of just losing weight, we can start being strategic. And so when the holidays come, if you're in an office or you're in a situation where all of a sudden there's a lot more holiday treats around, when I went into work, part of my strategy would be that I would probably eat more for breakfast. Like I'd probably kick it up with some fiber, but I'd add something healthy into my breakfast. I'd drink more water throughout the day. I'd obviously be focusing on my calm. I'd be rehearsing how I wanted to behave, and I would be planning how I was going to eat those foods. You didn't think I was going to say that? Probably. Yeah. I'd be planning strategically, how am I going to eat the tempting holiday foods at work? Well, how am I going to lose weight then, Jim? Because you lose weight by being strategic and smart, not by trying to be all or nothing. And so dieters, what they're going to do is they're going to go into work hungry, not calm, not drinking water, no strategy. They're going to go into work and try and say no to all the foods all day long. And they will maybe be able to do that until about 1, 2 o'clock, maybe. And then they're going to be so hungry, so irritated, so frustrated that they're going to eat the shit out of the holiday foods. And then they're going to say, oh, I can't control my eating at all. Oh, got no self-control, and I'm never going to get my weight under control. And it's like, well, look what you fucking did. I mean, no wonder you ate all the food. The worst strategy on the planet. It's funny, dieters, if you start to look at your behaviors through the lens of, this is one of my favorite NLP things, is that if I was going to fill in for you, right? If I was going to fill in for your overeating, how would I do it? Because there's a very specific strategy you follow to overeat most of the time. And so anyways, getting back to the holiday foods, what I would do is, in my mind, planning how I was going to eat them, is I would anticipate eating, again, I don't know, say there's cookies, there's chocolate chip cookies that someone brought in, and they were there yesterday. I know they're going to be there today. Okay. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'll have some cookies right before I leave, or I'll have some cookies right after lunch. I'm going to figure out when I'm going to eat them. And I'm going to anticipate and plan it. Again, I know what I'm saying doesn't make a lot of sense because you may not understand the function of dopamine in terms of your behavior. But the idea, what you dieters do is you are looking forward to the cookies, but you keep saying no. You keep depriving yourself, restricting, getting hungrier, getting more irritated, getting frustrated, depriving, restricting until you can't anymore. And then you go off the charts and eat all of it. I don't do that. I go into situations calm, relaxed, being strategically set up as much as I can be. And most of the time, I'm anticipating how I'm going to eat those cookies. I'm not saying I'm not going to eat any cookies. I'm saying I'm going to eat 1 or 2. And I have a strategy for how I'm going to do that. Does it always work? No. Does it work most of the time? Yeah. Does it work with my brain? Yeah. Is it part of the reason why I've been the same way for 30 years? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fucking hey, yeah. So what I'm telling you is, if you're struggling with your weight, it's because you have shitty strategies. Don't believe me? Don't believe me? I'll go up. Dieters, tell me your strategies. Tell me your strategies, dieters. Because I'm about to reveal something big to you. You don't got any. You got no strategies. Dieters have no strategy. Dieters don't strategize at all. They're tactical. There's always one thing. It's a one thing plan. No more carbs starting tomorrow. And I'm going to do it by using all my willpower. And that ain't not a strategy. So I say this to you with love, because it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault in one sense. After you hear me, it's your fault, because now you know what the problem is and you're going to fix it. But most people don't want to lose weight anyways. That's another story. Summer one, I had a bad day yesterday. I wasn't feeling well, and I ate 2 pieces of brownie and chips. Again, I mean, I'm going to assume summer one's not in the program, but in Program Yourself, then we don't really have obviously there's good and bad days, obviously, right? But when we have a bad day where we ate 2 pieces of brownies and chips, again, we learned from it. So just make sure you learn from it. I wasn't feeling well and I ate 2 pieces. So again, like in that moment, that's what you did. But again, it's important to learn from that. And so there's two parts, right? Because I wasn't feeling well. Okay, so when you don't feel well, what are some things other than the food that you can do to feel better? And then that works sometimes. And when you don't feel well, that's a problem sometimes, as well. But make sure you learn from it, someone. It's not a big deal. One day does not make your weight, folks. It's not the crimes to cover up. Jody says, Jim, the Circle app under Thrive is missing this week's lessons. Are you just working on it? I am. I'm going to fix that today. I am in there a lot working on stuff. There's some dumb shit going on behind the scenes with that whole thing. So, every day it's making forward. And I got some quiet. I'll talk about it tomorrow. I got a couple. I wanted to hear some feedback from people. I know if I scroll down, I can get right to the website. Yeah, right, exactly. But everything is going to be in there, Jody. I just have to think I'm going to lay it out. But yeah, you will be able to get everything in there, and I'll put it in there today. But you can get the daily sessions in there now, by the way. Those are going to start coming through the app as well. But just so you know, if you go to that, you'll see the daily sessions are in there now. So yeah, this app thing's awesome. Yeah, Ken says the PYT system has supercharged my willpower. Yeah, for sure. Now, in reality, it's not really supercharging your willpower. What's happening is with Program Yourself Thin, it's based on the subconscious mind. Your willpower is a conscious mind. Hold on. You got two parts of your mind. You got a conscious mind and you got a subconscious mind. The conscious part of your brain is the prefrontal cortex, and the subconscious mind is the rest of it. Let's just go with that simple explanation. And so the subconscious mind runs kind of on autopilot. It's the part that runs all your habitual thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Your conscious mind is the logical, rational part of you that's aware of what's going on right now and tries to get you to do the right thing. Knows why you should lose weight, what you should do to lose weight, and tries to get you to do that plan. And so dieters approach weight loss exclusively with a willpower focus, right? They're going to force themselves to do the right thing. They don't want to do the right thing. Not really, right? Because you're fighting cravings, you're fighting your hunger, you're fighting, negative dialogue inside your head, all this stuff. And so with Program Yourself Thin, what's happening is I'm aiming at your subconscious mind. I'm aiming to reprogram your subconscious mind so you naturally start thinking healthier thoughts, feeling better, making healthier choices. Okay. And so what you experience it like is I'm taking a lot of the effort that you use to lose weight off of your conscious mind's plate, and I'm kicking it back to the subconscious mind. And so what it feels like when you're using Program Yourself Thin, it feels like your willpower is just supercharged. But in reality, it's the same as it's always been, but you're not trying to do everything with willpower anymore. You're using your subconscious mind to help you make the choices and the behaviors that get you to your goal weight, if that makes sense. So it's not actually that Ken has supercharged willpower. It's that he's been listening to the sessions, and now he naturally and automatically starts to think, feel, and behave like a thin and healthy person just automatically. And so he doesn't have to just force and fight against himself as much as he did in the past when he was dieting, and as all you dieters do. So that's an important little distinction, but that's why it works. But that's great, Ken. And Ken, I got your thing. I'm going to restart you. So I got that. I'm going to restart you in the app, though, in the Circle app. And so I believe you're in there anyways. But I got a couple loose ends I got to tie up in there to get that going. But it should be done today, I think. I'm expecting today, at the very latest tomorrow. And so either tomorrow or Thursday, you will begin in the Circle app, starting to get, just like you were getting the nudge messages, it'll be the same thing, but it'll be the Circle app. And then you click that and it'll go right into the Circle app, and it'll give you your session. Everything will be in there. Deanna says, by the way, I can't get into Circle app, I think because I'm using it already. I'm going to contact their support. Yeah, you should be able to get in there anyways, because, sometimes you can be in multiple circles and it should work. But hopefully, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Like I know I said this last week. I'm hoping there's a Program Yourself Thin app. I'm in a little bit of a, I don't know what the word is. A little bit of a limbo with that whole thing right now. So I'm waiting to hear back. I'm hoping. And then you wouldn't have a problem like that. But yeah, contact their support, Deanna, because that shouldn't be a problem. And I don't know why that's happening. Jen says, will there be a way to search the sleepnosis sessions by topic, like stress or holidays? Maybe at some point. There's not one right now, and I don't know how that would work. That would be kind of cool, right? But I don't think that exists right now, unfortunately. Killjoy says, "Yep, conscious tools like willpower and motivation are fickle jerks." Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Willpower is not up for, let me put it metaphorically, real simple. If you think of your mind like a cruise ship, right? Your conscious mind's like the captain, and the crew is like the subconscious mind. And a crew, cruise ship needs both of them working together. You need the captain to kind of set this, the direction, manage the crew and all the rest of it. And then you need the crew to actually carry the work out. And so that's a good way to think of your mind. And so again, willpower is certainly powerful. It has its place. We don't not use it, but we really focus more on the subconscious mind. You're a subconscious creature. Your prefrontal cortex is 10% of your brain. The rest of your brain is the other 90%. And so the subconscious part of your brain is the part that runs your habitual behaviors. It's super powerful. I mean, think about reading, writing, driving, riding a bike, walking, all these things that you didn't know how to do and you learned how to do, and now you just do it automatically. That's the part of the brain we want to be utilizing. And dieters never use this part of their brain, and so Program Yourself Thin is built around the subconscious mind. And so there's two versions there's a hypnosis version of the program, which is just hypnosis sessions. And there's the mastery version where you really, learn how to do it yourself. But it's both based around the subconscious mind and getting it on your side, which is really helpful, as you can imagine. You should call it will not power. Yeah, you're right. It just won't. I mean, again, now listen, in Program Yourself Thin, we use willpower, but we use it strategically. We invest our willpower more intelligently. Okay. So we'll use our willpower to, like I suggest, use your willpower to get yourself to listen to the hypnosis sessions each morning and at night. Use your willpower to focus on a habit. Use your willpower to do the redo rehearsal technique in the program. And so if you do those things, what happens? You start reprogramming your subconscious mind. So you naturally start making better choices. See, think about it now. Don't you find it interesting? Think about how much effort and energy and thought you put into losing weight. You think about it constantly, and you've been doing this for decades, but something holds your weight at a certain spot pretty much. I mean, there's always a little fluctuation and stuff, and it may go up a little bit year after year, but ultimately your weight's pretty stable for most people. And it's because your behavior is pretty stable. You consume the same amount of calories pretty consistently. So it's like your whole weight loss history has been you consciously trying to fight against your subconscious mind and override it. And how is that working out for you? Yeah. How's the willpower-based weight loss going for you? I already know the answer, so you don't need to answer. But, so again, the alternative is that we start being, I don't know, I'd say more intelligent. I wouldn't say dieting is a very intelligent approach to weight loss. Would you? Would anyone here say dieting is an intelligent approach to weight loss? He says, instead of dieting, we're finding out what keeps us full until the next meal. Is that correct? Yeah, exactly, D. Yes. Yes. That's exactly it. I mean, again, there's a lot more to that, but the Program Yourself Thin, there's a weight mastery pyramid we follow: mindset, lifestyle, eating. So the eating piece, a big part of that is structuring your eating. So that here's one of the big differences. It's dieters don't pay attention to their hunger. They just fight against it. But in Program Yourself Thin, we're managing our hunger strategically. So the idea is, and again, this isn't set in stone, but it's a concept. But what can I eat at breakfast that comfortably gets me to lunch? What can I eat at lunch that comfortably gets me to dinner? What can I eat at dinner that comfortably gets me back to breakfast? And you can add as many meals in as you want. I mean, people have different meal numbers that they want to eat each day, but that's the basic idea, that what can I eat here that comfortably gets me to the next meal? Comfortably. And so a big part of what we're doing is managing our hunger, because when you start to get really hungry, forget it. You're not going to win that fight. You're not going to win the fight of being really hungry and then not eating much. Not for long. So yeah, exactly, D. Brittany says, I love that advice. Well, thank you. That works for me too. I do give good advice. I give the best weight mastery advice on the planet. I'm tired of. Cappuccino says, fighting with myself when it's time to fix my plate, how much to eat. Yeah, sure. You're fighting with yourself because you're expecting to eat a lot of food, and now you're dieting and saying, oh, I'm going to eat less food. But what's your subconscious programming say? What's the normal thing to do? It's to eat a lot of food, right? And so then when it's time to go get the food, you try and consciously say, okay, no, get less food. But your whole subconscious mind's like, let's do it. You know what it's like? I say this all the time, but it's not about losing weight. Like the weight loss is an effect. It's a reflection. What's really changing here is your behavior. You're changing your behavior. And that's where things get real fucking dicey for you because you have no idea how to change your behavior. Let's be honest. You have no idea how to change your behavior. And so that's why weight loss is so hard for you. It's not, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know the food it's good and it's all that. I get that piece of it, but it's not the whole story. The bigger part of the story is you don't know how to change. No, you don't. So again, when you're fighting with yourself, when it's time to fix my plate is the wrong time to do it. You need to prepare the plate you want to make the day before. That's like, again, and Program Yourself Thin, the mastery program, which I'm so close to just selling that again. You guys go crazy. I'll still sell the hypnosis version, but I'm telling you, like every time I see like a hypnosis only order coming, I'm just like, it's hard. I try to give you all options, but I just don't know. Anyways, we got the redo rehearsal technique. So the rehearsal technique is we rehearse behaviors we want to do. And the types of plates you fix are one of those behaviors we work on, but the plate you fix is already there. Do you see what I'm saying, Cappuccino? It's not, you're not just like, every time you go to fix a plate, it's not like the first time you fixed a plate. The plate you're fixing and the plate you're anticipating to fix is one that you've done many, 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 many times. And it's too much. It's calories that keep you overweight. This is all of you. It's the same thing. All of your behaviors, what you do automatically and naturally is what keeps you overweight. And you do it automatically because that's what your subconscious programming is. You just naturally do shit that keeps you overweight. Right? That's the problem. And I guess the idea is that what? You can't change that? That's fucking bullshit. You're a human. You can change all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Someone said, yes, I didn't feel well and it was a trigger. Yeah. I get that someone. But yeah, don't beat yourself up to it. Kat says, looking for comfort when not feeling well. Yeah, again, we've been conditioned in this society. Listen, we've been raised by corporations, folks. You've been raised by corporations. You weren't raised by your parents. You were raised by corporations. They raised your parents. They raised us. And so we've been conditioned to use food as our main emotional management strategy. Feel shitty? What are you doing? Food. Feeling great? Want to celebrate? What are you doing? Food. You know what I mean? It's always food. So, again, the answer isn't to stop yourself from eating food when you feel shitty. The answer is to find other ways to feel better when you feel shitty that don't involve food. Once you have that, the whole process of weight loss becomes way easier. What's up, Joy? Killjoy says, for me, it's combining filling food and satisfying meals. If I fill my stomach but don't enjoy the meal, all I'm thinking about is food until the next meal. Killjoy, that's really, I'm glad you said that, mate. I need to make a bigger deal out of that too. It absolutely, like the foods I eat, now this is a superpower for me. I'm not arguing that. I don't need much variety. I just don't. Well, Jim, I need more variety. Well, great. You add more variety into your plan. Okay. But yes, the enjoyment of the food is really important too. It's got to be at least mildly enjoyable. So I agree with that, Killjoy. I'm glad you said that. I got to add that in the training in a little more explicit of a way, because that is very true. Yeah, if you restrict and don't enjoy what you're eating, it creates all kinds of problems. All kinds of problems. Ken says, thanks for the willpower explanation. My strategies have allowed me to make better decisions. Yeah, Ken, that's a better explanation, right? That's great. I love that. Ken's the man. Ken, you get this shit so well. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Yeah, your strategies have allowed you to make better decisions, right? And so what you've done is you freed up willpower. That's what happens in Program Yourself Thin. We free up willpower. Dieters, you guys are so crazy. I mean, it's so obvious too, but you're literally in a trap. You dieters are in a little mental prison put there by the diet industry, and you can't think outside of it. And a lot of the stuff that you're struggling with is unnecessary. And it's a result of the mindset prison you're in. You think like a dieter. And dieters are the fucking dummies of the world when it comes to weight loss. I don't know anything. So yeah, great job, Ken. Yeah, it's the strategies. The strategies free you up. How to encourage someone to lose weight that has to lose due to health issues? You can't. You just can't. If you figure it out, let me know. I don't know how you encourage someone to lose weight that doesn't want to. And I've got plenty of work with myself. Literally, managing myself is a full-time job. And I have no idea how to motivate someone to do it who doesn't want to do it. So I would save all that energy and just put it into you, because you're just going to waste it on them. I hate to say it. It may sound cold, but I mean, they did a study of guys. They had an open heart surgery. I swear it was open heart surgery. They studied this group of guys. I forgot how many it was, but anyways, 20% of them after the surgery changed their lifestyles up, and the other 80% just didn't. So again, change is harder than you think, and health reasons don't really motivate people. Health is again, I just come back to the whole weight loss. Your core problem, folks, is that you're not motivated. I know you think you are, because you think about you conflate thinking about weight loss all day long with motivation, and they're two totally different things. So health, for whatever reason, health just does not motivate most people. I don't know why. I don't really know why, but it doesn't. And trust me, I have tried. I've spent 30 years personally, 20 years professionally. I have, Program Yourself Thin's been my main program the whole time, but I have lots of other programs over the years I've put together. And I have a health program, and I called it addictive health, because you get addicted to being healthy. Not so much. I called it holistic health. Nah, people weren't interested in it. So I just call it Program Yourself Thin Lifestyle now. But yeah, people I don't know what it is about health. Most people just don't really give a shit about their health. So I would not want to try and convince someone to lose weight. What's up, Mario? Because of their health. I know it's counterintuitive, but you go ahead and try it. Let me know what your experience is, though. So I would take all that energy and aim it at you. It'll be better spent. I can tell you that. Mario says it's crazy how many calories I was drinking, especially when ordering at Starbucks, thinking it's just a drink when it's like 700 calories. Yes, folks, listen, if you're putting cream and sugar in your coffee, it's closer to a milkshake than it is to a coffee. Okay? So I don't mean to burst your bubbles, but I mean, Starbucks are milkshakes. It's a milkshake company. It's the Shake Shack. It's milkshakes. It's milkshakes. Your coffee, make it home. If you're putting cream and sugar in, it's a milkshake. Okay? I'm not saying you can't have milkshakes either. Drink them away, but at least be aware of what you're doing. Because yeah, when you're consuming 700 calories, by the way, the other double whammy of liquid calories is that there's usually a lot more calories in it than you think there are. And B, the big problem is that our body doesn't process liquid calories like it does regular calories. Think about evolution. There were no liquid calories. So you can drink 700 calories and you get very little satiety from it. Satisfaction, fullness. Drinking 700 calories, eating 700 calories, completely different experience in your body. One's going to satisfy you, make you feel more full and satisfied for a while. The other one's going to trigger a spike, crash, and hunger very quickly. So yeah, drinking calories is a real, it's going to make things really hard for you if you want to lose weight. So maybe I drink my calories. Yeah. Drinking calories, again, if you want to gain weight or stay overweight, I think it's a great strategy. If you want to lose weight, liquid calories are, like, for me anyways, they'd be focus number one. You're underestimating them and your body doesn't get the satiety from those calories. So what's up, Tabitha? Tabitha said, I want abs, tricks. I am not the ab guy. But I can tell you, getting your eating under control, getting your lifestyle under control, are foundational pieces of that, obviously. And then, in terms of the rest of it, I don't know. But I know it's a lot of work. And I know for a female to get abs is extra work. It was hard for me. It was too much for me. I'll tell you that. But I tell this story sometimes, but for years, decades, there'd be random times like, oh, I want to get abs. I'm going to get abs. And I just never did it, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, I'm a master of my eating. I'm a master of my life. Why am I doing this? And then it hit me like a bolt of lightning one night. I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Married guy, my shirt's off 5 hours a year. I'm not going to put that work. I don't give a shit. I get no value out of it, really. It'd be cool to, oh, cool. But you know how much work it takes? It is another, that's life, you know. Sometimes that last 5% is some of the hardest work. I was like, ah, fuck it, I just don't care. You know, so again, I'm not saying don't care, obviously, but I'm saying it's a lot more work to get abs than it is. It depends on the person too, I suppose. But for me to get the abs was a lot more work than just controlling my weight. You know, it's somewhat of an outlier thing. And of course, it depends on your body and what you're working with. But so just make sure you're really motivated, Tabitha, why you really want to have abs, you know, because it's probably going to be a more intense experience to get them than you think. And so you set yourself up, your expectations up right. Selena Bigback, what's going on? That's your name. Selena Bigback says dieting used to work for me, but now it doesn't anymore, and I feel so lost. I mean, join the club. Don't feel lost. You're in the right place. You're in America, and 75% of the population is overweight or obese. Pretty much all of them have tried dieting and have no fucking clue what to do. This is why I do this every day, because I know the world is, at least America, my world, is lost at sea. You have no idea, which is my main point that I always like to make, that you dieters, you got no idea what you're doing. Like literally, you have no plan. You have no idea. There's just nothing going on here. So, I mean, I would tell you the first thing, I would not want my username to be Selena Bigback if I wanted to lose weight. You know, in Program Yourself Thin, we talk about your self-image, right? That's a big part of Program Yourself Thin. Program Yourself Thin is an inside-out transformation process. And so one of the first things we focus on after motivation is your self-image and identity. Right. It's like, I don't know if she's here today, but what's her name? Mary, she used to have the handle Mary Loves Cake. And she's, I don't know why I'm struggling. So, well, what kind of username is that? I mean, I don't know, maybe it sounds silly to you, Al. I don't know, but it's like, I would not want to identify myself as Selena Bigback if I was interested in losing weight and eating healthier. You're giving yourself really two conflicting messages. Just as a little, that's not going to fix everything, but she ended up, by the way, Mary ended up changing her name to Mary Loves Herself, which I thought was really nice. I think it's a better handle. These are the things that matter. It's again, what I'm talking about, by the way, if you don't know, is I'm not talking about weight loss, really. I'm talking about weight mastery. The difference being that weight loss is about getting to your goal weight. Weight mastery is about living at your goal weight. I'm obsessed with how to get to your goal weight and then live there the rest of your life on your autopilot. And so with that frame in mind, again, calling myself, you know, Jim Big Butt, you know, or Jim, you know, Jim Candy Lover, I wouldn't do that, you know, especially if I struggle with candy. So it's again, it may sound like something little, but you know, it all goes together. But what I would say to you, Selena, is go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, watch the video. I gave you so much free stuff, and I got even more free stuff coming. I won't even be the new year. I got an app coming. You know, I'm giving you so much free stuff. So it'll help you feel less lost. I'll tell you that. Because this is what I do all day. I need some tips, Selena says. You don't need tips. You need a brand new strategy and philosophy of how to master your weight. I'll tell you one thing, folks. None of you are a tip away from living at your goal weight forever. How about that? Just so you know, you're not a 2 tips away from living at your goal weight. You're a fucking 50 miles away. Tough shit. I'm telling you, it's like saying, you know, you just graduated high school and you're thinking about going to college to become an accountant. And you say, you know what? I just need a couple tips to become an accountant. No, you need to commit to college and learn how to be an accountant. Sorry. And it's the same thing with your weight. There's no tips. There's no little trick I could tell you. It's not easy. It's not quick. If you don't like that, then that's fine. But I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you. It's a commitment just like anything else in life. It's like learning a musical instrument. It's like getting a degree. It's like learning a skill or craft or trade. There's a lot of things that go into your weight. You got to change your mindset, your lifestyle, and your eating. There's no little tip I can. Oh, yeah, drink water. Drink more water. That ought to take care of it. Oh, don't eat so many carbs. Really? And again, that's part of that diet mindset. That you think you're just one tip away from living at your goal weight forever. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? You're you're not a tip away. I'm not picking on you, Selena, please understand this. I'm speaking to all the dieters, but because this is that mindset, this idea that you're just this close. If there's just some new diet that, just need to wait for that new diet, waiting for that new diet to come out. Why? What the fuck difference is it going to make? It's not what you know. It's not like The problem isn't like knowing what to do. That's not your problem. Your problem is that you have no fucking clue how to get yourself to do it consistently. Not a clue in the world. That's why I say you're 50 miles away, folks. You have no idea how to change your behaviors. No, you don't. You know how to change it for a day or a week. Who gives a shit? You don't know how to change your behaviors for good. You have no clue how to do that. So how are you going to be thin and healthy for good? How? You tell me. I don't have to tell you. I'm at my goal weight. I've been at my goal weight for 30 years. I help people do it every day. I don't have to tell you. You got to tell me. What the fuck? How are you going to change your behaviors long term? Are you just going to, one Monday, you're magically going to wake up as a thin, healthy person? What? How would that happen? That's like thinking one day you'll just magically wake up and be able to play the piano or something. One day I'll wake up and I'll just be able to speak Chinese. Huh? The fuck sense does that make? It makes as much sense as this idea that you're going to wake up one Monday and then just be keto from then on. Or you're going to wake up one Monday and just eat 1,000 calories a day. Nope. That Monday's never going to come. A Monday will come where you try and force yourself to do it. Those Mondays, oh my God, we got them lined up, right? And the first one's coming what? January 1st? Selena says, I lost almost 15 kilograms and now I gained them and on top 5 more. I'm sorry, Selena. It sucks. I don't even eat that much though. Yeah, you do. I don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. I do this shit all day long. What do you want from me? You know, you do eat that much though. You know, you lost 15 kilograms because you reduced your calorie consumption and then you can't stick with it because you probably did some drastic shit, I bet. And now you're back up to what you did and you're eating more. It's the classic dieting move. It's called the what the hell effect. It's specifically for dieters that when dieters start restricting and dieting for a while, as soon as they make the mistake, they go way overboard in the other direction for a while. And then they usually normalize somewhere. So Selena, don't say that it's not, I don't even eat that much though, because that confuses your brain. Not because where that goes to, I've been gaining 15 kilograms and another 5 kilograms on that. But I don't even eat any, I'm not even eating any different. Yeah, you are eating different. That's why your weight changed. And when you tell yourself you're not eating different, you head right down the magical path to, no matter what I do, I can't lose weight. That's not true. You just lost 15 kilograms and I gained them. You didn't gain them. Folks, you don't gain or lose weight. You eat more, you eat less, and then the weight loss goes up or down. The weight goes up or down. It's cause and effect. Weight is an effect, meaning you can't just make the effect happen. You can't lose weight. You can't make money. You can work harder and more money comes your way as an effect. You can eat less and the weight goes down through some magical process, but you have no control over that process. You only have control over your eating, your lifestyle, your mindset. You do not have control over the weight loss process. As a matter of fact, you probably don't even know how weight loss happens, folks. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's a little factoid, but I'm just saying, if you're thinking that, Selena, you're going to be real confused. No wonder you feel lost. I don't get it. I lost 15 kilograms and then I gained it all back. You didn't gain it all back. You couldn't keep eating that way. And so then you started eating like normal and the weight came back on. It's very important that you focus on the part that you have control over. Dream Baby says the calories I drink are the half and half in my hot tea plus about a teaspoon of brown sugar. Yeah. And again, if you're at your goal weight, great. If you're not, I'm not saying you have to give that up, but I'm saying that's the low hanging fruit is liquid calories because they're making it, it's not only the calories that you're consuming with that, it's also the effect it has on you moving forward as well. So let's just say you have a hot tea with half and half and a teaspoon of brown sugar. Maybe that's 200 calories, let's say. Let's just ballpark it. So it's 200 calories, and that's one piece of the equation. But the other piece of the equation I look at is that it's 200 calories that I'm not getting any satiety from. I'm not getting, like I could eat an apple for 200. I could eat an apple with peanut butter for 200 calories. And that's going to serve me so much better. It's going to nourish my body. It's going to satisfy me longer. It's going to give me more energy. It's going to make me feel lighter. It's setting me up for success. So I'm not saying you could never have tea with half and half and all the rest of it. But I'm saying if your weight even matters to you, which for most of you, your weight doesn't really even matter. I know you're obsessed with it, but you don't really give a fuck. Like, I say this with love too, because again, there's nothing worse than thinking that losing weight is the most important thing in the world to you, and it's not happening. Because I've never seen that be the case. I have never once met someone who genuinely their weight's the most important thing to them, and they haven't lost weight. I've never seen it with my eyes. And I've done almost 6,000 private weight loss sessions. So how many have you done? So let's talk about it. I don't think, if you're not losing weight, I don't think you're that motivated. I'm just going to be honest. I think you want to lose weight, but I think you want to keep eating and living the way you're living more than you want to lose weight. So anyways, Tabitha says, yeah, if I work out more, I'll get hungrier. So I'll stick to my Pilates and yoga. Yeah. Again, Tabitha, I mean, I will tell you, what I do know about abs is that it's just taking the weight loss to a relative extreme. That's all, and it's up to you. Again, you got to be really motivated to do it though, because it is harder. That last 5% is not the same amount of energy as the previous 5%, if that makes sense. So make sure you're really motivated. You can certainly, obviously, you can get abs. People do it all the time, but it's an extreme. And when I say extreme, it's a relatively extreme goal. It takes a lot more effort for most people. Again, it depends on your body, but for most people, it's going to take a lot more effort to go from being your goal weight to having abs. Having abs, again, it just depends on what your perspective is. You know what I mean? If you're a hunter gatherer in an African tribe, having a 6-pack's pretty easy. If you're 50 pounds overweight living in America, working at a desk, it might be a little harder for you. So again, everything's relative, and it just depends on what your goal is and why, and where your motivation's at. Selena says, my username, is my username that bad? It's not that bad. It's just, again, if I'm struggling, like if I'm overweight and I want to lose weight, and my big issue is, cookies. My username's, Jim Cookie Monster. Like, I don't want that identity. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're joking, and I know it's casual, but it's like subconsciously that's your identity. Like, I know that's your identity. It just is. How we identify ourselves has a huge impact on our results in such powerful ways. Potatoes are free on Weight Watchers now. That will make it work this time. It's funny. Selena says, it's just funny. My friends call me that. Yeah. So there you go. That's what I mean. Again, I know that. And I'd be curious, Selena, let me know if you're still here. Are your friends nice to you, or are they always kind of slyly like taking digs at you? And I only say that because literally the only other person I can remember right now who had the Mary Loves Cookies or cake or whatever the shit was, but she's since gotten on. Her friends treat her like shit. It's crazy. They seem horrible to her. And so I'm just curious, when your friends call you that, again, I don't know where your weight's at, you know what I mean? But sometimes friends can be dickheads. I don't know what to say. Like it's crazy sometimes what friends can say. So I don't know. Yeah, your friend's calling you Selena Big Back. If you're 10 pounds heavier and you don't care and it's a funny joke, then fine. But if you're really insecure about your weight and unhappy with it, that's I don't know. To each their own. Tabitha says, because I have a short torso and pear shape, I thought it would look good, but I'm okay with slim and tone. Yeah, slim and tone's a lot easier. Again, I'm lazy though, so don't listen to me. I'm lazy as fuck. Like I haven't worked out consistently in 30 years. I'm active. Like I like playing. I do a lot of stuff, but working out in a gym, doing the things it would take to get the abs and built up muscles, it's just not my thing. I'm not judging it. I wish I was more that way, sure, but I just don't care. So I'm a lazy person. So me too. I'd rather be kind of slim and in shape than, ripped and defined. I don't have that goal. Yeah. Dream Baby says, yeah, the things you say to yourself matter. Absolutely. Yeah. There you go. Tabitha said that to Selena. You're subconsciously calling yourself that. Yeah. I would agree. I would agree with that. And I think you're just like all of you. All of us have some self-image and identity we have of ourselves. And that's one of the core reasons you weigh what you weigh. I had a completely different self-image 30 years ago. The biggest transformation for me is not this. It was 50 pounds heavier. I've been the same way for 30 years, one blip 12 years ago. But the biggest difference is up in here, how I think of myself. So that was a huge part of it. Hmm. Dream Baby says, quick doesn't stick. Yeah, I like that. Quick doesn't stick. I like that. That's true. Oh, okay. Selena said that. Yeah. I've watched your bio video. Thanks. It was pretty good. But being for real, most diets have helped. Well, great. Then go. I've kind of missed this. I haven't had this in a while. When someone says for real, most diets have helped. Yeah, they helped for a few minutes. They're band-aids. If they helped, why would you have put the 15 kilograms plus 5 more on? If the diets helped, why'd you put 20 kilograms on? Is that the help? Is that how we define working, folks? See, that's where your dieters are fucking. You listen. Let me just take a step back here before I brutally insult all dieters. I think if you're listening to me right now, I think you're an intelligent person. I'm going to assume that because I attract at least overthinkers, people that think a lot, quick in their head. I'm that way. All my clients, as far as I can tell, are always that way. So I know you're probably on the smart side of things. And I say this with love in my heart that you are too smart to be dieting. You cannot, we cannot be in a reality where your definition of a diet working is that it helped you lose weight and then you put all the weight back on. Is that really your definition of what's working? That is a shitty definition to me. For me, what works is if I lived my plan works. Program Yourself didn't work for real because I'm at my goal weight and I've been at my goal weight for 30 years. I had one blip 12 years ago and I got right back on track anyways using everything I know. So I don't measure success by getting to my goal weight. I measure success by how long I'm at my goal weight. And with that measurement stick, how for real did diets work? Jen says if they work, Jim would be out of work. Sadly, he's got great job security. Exactly. I joke all the time. I'd be, listen, really what I want to teach is just personal development, just straight up personal development, but the weight thing for me is a mission. My dad died at 54 of a heart attack. I was 9 years old, big trauma, in my life. And so this has just been the path I was born to walk, apparently. But yeah, that's why I was excited when they came out of the weight loss medicine. I was like, oh, sweet, fix it. And I see what it is. And I'm like, ah, shit. Nah, maybe they'll come up with something else in the future that works the way that I'd want it to, but so whatever. So yeah, but diets clearly, if your definition of working is that diets help me lose weight, then I wouldn't disagree that diets can help you lose weight for a little while. If your definition of working is that they help me live at my goal weight, then diets are a certified failure. They have a 95% failure rate. 95% of people that lose weight on a diet put it back on. And sometimes, usually a little bit more. And you fall right in that category, Zelina. So that's a shitty definition of working, in my opinion. But that's me. He said, I could be wrong, but pretty sure there's a couple of people who troll Jim regularly. Do they? Am I getting trolled all the time? I'm going to try to say this name. New says, I'm doing carnivore. What do you think? I think carnivore diet is the height of goofiness, in my opinion. Now, again, listen to me or don't. I don't give a shit. But I think the idea of eating a carnivore diet when you're a human being is just strange. And the first sign of that is that look at your intestines. Look at your teeth. You're not a carnivore. You're an omnivore. There's the first one. The second one is that what societies are living off of just meat? There are a couple, right? Usually the Eskimos, they live off most of the meat for a lot of the year. But I just read about them? Because, a lot of people don't know this, is that, even though all humans look the same on the outside, they're different on the inside. Did you know this? I always think of the blood types. Imagine before you knew that, right? You would have never imagined there's blood types for people, right? Who the fuck would have thought that? Okay. But when you look inside of our body, you have to understand genetically, we're very different. Lactose intolerance, one of the classic examples of this. Almost 100% of Chinese people are lactose intolerant. 75% of Africans lactose intolerant. So it depends on your ancestry, whether you can even process milk or not. So when they study the Eskimos that eat mostly meat, guess what? You're never going to believe it. You're never going to believe this. They got a genetic mutation that prevents them from going into ketosis. So your keto diet was a diet originally made for epileptics. It's not a well thought out fucking plan. And if you're just going to eat meat for how long? Well, till I lose the weight. Well, then what are you going to do? I'm going to eat meat forever. Just meat, Jim. Can you promise to give me a call next year, 5 years from now? Let me know how that's going. Because it won't be going. Because by then, carnivore will be done because it's stupid. Right? Why aren't you doing paleo diet? Right? Oh, because that's not the hot thing anymore. And paleo is just as stupid as the fucking rest of them. I'm gonna eat like a paleo person. Yeah, which one? You know what I mean? Like saying paleo person is like saying I'm gonna eat I'm gonna eat like 2000 person. What's that mean? People that lived in the year 2000, I'm gonna eat like them. Silly, right? It's a big world. Are you gonna eat like the paleo person that was living on the equator? Or are you gonna eat like the paleo person that was living in Antarctica? Do you know what I mean? Like who are you going to eat? Like, so again, this idea of carnivore, again, it's just the influencer culture just taken to the extreme. And that's what you're going to get is just because now you can't eat fruit. You can't eat the sugar and fruit's bad for you. You know, again, carnivore diet. Yeah. People show improvement for the first couple months because their diet's a bunch of shit to start with. And so if you're just going to eat natural meat, yeah, you'll probably have improvements. But again, what culture, what society are you modeling with your carnivore diet? What human culture are you modeling? Who are you looking at as your role model to eat a carnivore diet? That's what I want to know. What society? Some fucking obscure society lived 200 years ago in some little area of Arizona. You know, who are you modeling? You know, and again, it's one more example of the diet industry is built around the one thing concept, which is that they know everyone that's overweight is frustrated and struggled and up to here, and they don't have any bandwidth. So they have to make the diet seem as simple as possible conceptually. What's simpler than no carbs? What's simpler than just eat meat? So it sounds simple, but you won't be doing the carnivore diet for long. The vast majority of people don't. Why? Because they feel like shit. Why? Because you're not a carnivore. So again, in my world, the carnivore diet is dangerous. And again, we get tricked because you see people's initial responses to it, but they're eating like shit. They're overeating. And now all of a sudden they're just eating meat, but they're eating more natural foods and they're lowering their calories down. And so their blood work improves and shit looks like it improves. But let's see what happens after a year, 2 years, 3 years. Let's see what happens to you. Let's see how you're feeling. Let's see if you can stick with it because it's fucking weird. It's weird. And again, it's just the newest influencer bunch of bullshit. So that's what I think about that. So he says, I keep joking I'm Jim Bro eating, but I'm low key embodying my fit and healthy self. Yeah, that's great then. Teva said, yeah, you do. Greg, I'm sorry, but this is something I would say. Not sure if that was. Yeah, making a joke about it. Yeah, well, again, making a joke about it has really helped me chill out. That's really important. I was thinking that you really gotta kind of chill, because when you change, just change in any capacity is stressful to the human brain and body. Just so you know, our brain likes to work on autopilot, do the same shit, maintain the status quo, and all of a sudden you're gonna change everything up. It takes more cognitive energy and it takes more resources, and our brain and body don't like to do that. So chilling out is important. What's up, Jim? Hey, bro, how's the holiday time for you food-wise? It's been crazy. My weight has been up and down on the daily. Well, up and down's fine. That means it's staying in the same spot. My weight goes up and down. I put a couple pounds on. You know, I always say like holidays for me, December is really kind of my pleasure month in a sense. So I'm definitely looser with the food in December. So yeah, I put a couple pounds on so far. I'm gonna put a couple more on. Don't care, because January comes around, I go right back to how I always do things, and the weight goes right back down. So that's how it is, you know. Tabitha says, Jim, I'm working on limiting processed sugar, and my mom got me chocolate cake, and I want to eat some. I don't have any good control with chocolate cake yet. Any advice? Yeah, Tabitha, the question I would ask is how do I want to eat this cake? That's the question I would ask. Honestly, how do I want to eat it? And I know the first, I want to eat the whole thing. Okay, calm down. Is that really what you want to do? How do you feel if you eat the whole thing? How will you feel? Okay. And so now really ask the question, how can I get the most enjoyment out of this cake? It might be a piece or two, probably is where you'll end up. How can I have my cake in my body too? You eat that whole cake. Again, it's not the end of the world, but it's like it pulls you away from your goals. You eat a piece or two, you're right there. So that'd be my suggestion. But again, who cares what I say? Ask the question, how can I get the most enjoyment possible out of this cake? And look at the big picture. Again, when I say that, not just the anticipation in eating the cake, but also the consequence phase. There's a consequence phase, folks, that follows your eating. And so take that into account too, and ask yourself, how can I get the most enjoyment out of this cake? And then take it from there. I said, so true. Realizing that I'm just obsessed with thinking about being skinny, but living that life is something way different. Yeah, exactly, Mario. Yeah. And Mario's referring again to the fact that most of you dieters are not really motivated. You think you're motivated because you're obsessed with weight and losing weight and thinking about it. But that's not motivation. You've got to recognize that. One of the most important things you can do is that you got to realize just because you think about something constantly does not mean you're motivated. You know how you tell if you're motivated or not? It's really easy, by the way. You just look at what you actually do. Motivation, people really confuse themselves and bullshit themselves with. So motivation is real. So this is why I say you're not motivated. You weigh what you want to weigh. How about that? Let's keep it real simple. You weigh what you want to weigh because you're in control of your eating. And so you're eating what you want to eat. Right? So don't get confused with, oh, but I want to lose weight. No, just look at what you do. Look at what you do. Your motivation is the thing that arouses an organism to action. And so what are you aroused to action with? What actions are you aroused to? There's your motivation. Don't confuse yourself. And it's very clarifying. Yeah, Mario says also about abs, I think the less body fat you have, the easier to get them technically. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Absolutely. But again, it's a very, it's different for different people. But what I'm saying is to get abs it's a very low body fat percentage. For most Americans, and if you've been overweight, the body fat percentage you got to get down to, it's more than you think. Let me just put it that way. So. Yeah, everyone does have abs, exactly. I want abs for fun. Yeah, I want abs for fun is almost never going to get the job done. Again, I'm not, for some people having abs is easy, but for a lot of people, most people, having abs is a real commitment, and most people are not up to the task. I wasn't, I'm not throwing shade. But it's important to recognize that, Leslie and Sophie want lines on their stomach. Even that, I'm on the other side of it now, but it's like, I will tell you, for most people, having abs is not going to change their quality of life at all. You know what I mean? Like for most people, again, everything's an equation. So, and again, I'm using myself here. So I'm a married guy and I never have my shirt off. Like I wear shirts all the time. I go to the beach, once a year usually. And I like that. It'd be cool to have abs then, I guess. Who gives a fuck? Really though? Who cares? So I think everyone should take a step back and think on this, because I think this is a fun exercise to do, and it'll reveal a lot. Because what benefit are you going to get out of having abs? Like actually in your life, what benefit are you going to get? What's the benefit? It's probably not that much. Now, what's the cost of getting them? That's a lot higher, right? The cost is you got to clean up your eating a lot. Most people, you got to be really focused in on it. You say no to a lot of food. You got to say no to a lot of pleasure to get those abs. There's a lot of cost, and the benefit is usually not that high. You tell me though, what would the benefit be out of having abs for you all? And and then when you say that thing, how is that going to help you? I'm going to get to it. And it says, how can I want to lose weight be more important than wanting to keep eating and living the same way? Yeah, you gotta reframe the goal, Hannah. So again, I always say take weight loss and wrap it in personal development. Your weight in the way you eat and live is probably the number one thing that's causing the quality of your life or the lack thereof. So to me, it's like, it's easy. I mean, there's longevity, obviously, but it's really my quality of life while I'm here now. And so eating the way I do, being the weight I'm at, living the way I'm living, being the person I am, every day is exciting and fun for me. And so that's really where my focus and motivation is. The weight's almost just like a secondary effect. It's just a side benefit. So. So he says, okay, so real, I've not been binging as much since taking space. I don't know what that means. I've heard of holding space, not taking space. Someone says also, I think some people, including myself, struggle with success. Once I get to ideal weight, then. Oh yeah, agreed, Summer. I mean, that's, again, program yourself thing, I think, is unique in that way, because it's all about, most dieters think about getting to the goal weight as the finish line. And program yourself thing, getting your goal weight is the starting line, because the whole goal is to live at your goal weight. So with program yourself, then we start, I always say, like, I frame it this way, that program yourself, then you start with your maintenance. Because you're right. There's a lot of reasons why. I'm not going into it right now, but there's a lot of reasons why, yes, getting your goal weight is not as good as you all think it is, the way you're doing it dieting wise. All right, I'm gonna quick. I see a lot of stuff. Okay, Jim says it's been hard emotionally, honestly, not caring about how I look like. It feels like I can gain weight easily, and losing it takes time and strategy. Yeah, I'd say that's true, Jim. But again, it's always that way. It's easy for me. I can put weight on. I mean, I can get off track with things, and the weight comes on quickly. I told you 12 years ago, I put 25 pounds on in a couple months. So it's like, it can happen fast. I'm not going to argue that. But it does take strategy and time. That's true too. And it's hard to do during the holidays. Like, it just is. I mean, people that have been in my program, as the holidays come, they're well prepared for it. You know what I mean? But they'll still be a little off track. Again, holidays, vacations, special occasions are meant to be a little bit off track. So yeah, but you need to have a foundation that's set up ahead of time. Selena says, well, for the most part, my friends are really sweet, but you did remind me of my aunt. She does like to joke every now and then, but it's really not funny. Yeah, I get that, Selena. And it's okay to feel hurt and upset. I think that's good. I mean, that's a whole nother part of the program, is just dealing with emotions on a genuine level. But yeah, identify that stuff and don't put up with that shit. Sophie says, I think one thing I'm doing is poor portioning. Yeah, portioning will get y'all, folks. I mean, portioning is really the name of the game at the end of the day. Yeah, like when I eat something remotely unhealthy, she asks if I really want to eat that. Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah, Selena, you should change your name. It's not good to keep saying Selena Big Bag. I don't care. Selena says, also, what do you say about water fasting? I know it's not good, but I lose so much weight once from it, but it made me feel so deprived. I mean, Selena, listen, here's the pattern, right? I've told you this earlier. I don't, maybe you weren't here, but all the diets, they seem different on the surface, but deep down, they're all the same in the sense that they're just temporary fixes. And water fasting is literally at the very top of the list of temporary fixes. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not a real strat. Unless if your goal is to lose weight and then put it back on, then water fasting is probably the greatest strategy for that. Okay. But I'm assuming you want to keep the weight off, or maybe you don't. If you just want to lose the weight real quick and then put it back on, then I would suggest water fasting. If you want to lose weight for good, I would absolutely not, because you can't just live on water. So at some point, the water fasting ends and you have to eat. And what do you think happens to your weight? So it's a very short-sighted way of thinking. So that's what I think about that. Yeah, so this is Jim and my therapist have been the angels on this successful journey. Well, thank you, Tabitha. I'm happy to be part of that. Eagle Banani says, you helped me so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Well, thank you. You're welcome. That's why I do it. Yeah. Well, some people in the comments talk. Yeah. Not letting people know about your goals is a great strategy. You should always keep your weight loss, your goals, your process, all of it. Keep it as low key, fly under the radar as much as you possibly can. Because for whatever reason, as soon as people hear that you want to lose weight, it's just like waving a red flag in front of them. I don't know why. I don't know why it's like that, but people, well, I do know why it's like that, but that's okay, Tabitha. You can make the comments or whatever you want to comment on. Leslie says, I have a lot of giggle on my stomach and I want to feel good wearing a 2-piece bathing suit. Oh, a lot of jiggle. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I get that, Leslie. But I mean, again, the difference between reducing the jiggle and getting a 6-pack, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what does anyone get out of having actual lines on their stomach? Like when you really think about it, I know it's cool. Like I get that. I totally understand that. What I'm saying is take a step beyond that. It's cool. So what? And what you're going to reveal is that you're not really motivated to have a 6-pack. I can almost guarantee it. And so the jiggle on your stomach, if you want to reduce that, that's a different goal than getting a 6-pack. And it's an easier goal. Christina says, is there a 4 p.m. call today or are we done? No, Christina, you're still. Did you not get that today? No, Christina, you're here till the end of the month. So I sent an email out, but I bet I know what happened. And Katie, I bet you too, I bet. So yes, there is a 4 o'clock call, and I'm going to send another email out. I'm going to make sure that you guys are in there, because I think I know what happened though. But no, you're not done. Jim said, I can imagine myself with abs just being super confident, getting everyone's attention for it, probably very superficial. But I do believe most people wouldn't turn down abs. We're visual creatures. No, agreed. Again, it's cool. I'd sign right up. Yeah, if you took a pill and give me abs tomorrow, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is that it's a superficial thought more than anything else. Like, what's going to benefit out of having a 6-pack? You know what I mean? Like, again, I know some girl's gonna say, or some guy, whatever you like there, but it's like someone's gonna say, oh my God, look, like a 6-pack, oh, it's so hot. And it's like, I get it, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know, whatever. I don't want to get that conversation now, but for most people, it's not going to change their life a whole lot. You say, just remember, when you try to be better, there are going to be lots of people that are going to put you down. Yes, absolutely. That's true. Yeah, Tabitha, I think that's smart. It motivates me more to be more quiet with my goals. I think that's a smarter move, because then you don't have to deal with people's dumb shit. And I think that's always better. People can't help themselves. You know what I mean? When it comes to the weight loss, they just can't do it. Juan says, yes, my biggest dream when I was a teen years, I wanted abs so bad. Yeah, I get it, Juan. I did too. I mean, there's moments where I kind of go into it. I did a whole thing. I did a series. It was called The Elite Body. I did it, I don't know, shit, was it 10, 15 years ago? But I interviewed like a lot of the top fitness trainers, nutritionists in the world. And I was interviewing them, and they were all, most of the guys anyways, were jacked up, abs, all the rest of it. And they would all, I knew they weren't impressed with me. the ones that would say it out loud, they would call me skinny fat. And they didn't like that. But again, I get it. Because we all have this sense, our whole lives, we have this sense of perfection put in our minds. And so of course, who wouldn't want to be perfect, to have this thing? But what I'm telling you is that it's not the end of the world. I've talked to lots of people with abs. I'm not saying, a lot of them were awesome, and some of them weren't. You know what I mean? Like, again, it's cool. For most of us, it would be cool. And the effort and energy it takes to actually do it would not, the feeling of being the cool thing is not enough for us to actually commit to it. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you have abs, Jim? Not really. Not in the way that you would say it. Katie got the email, the coaching call, but not the class email. Oh, why not? Why didn't you get that? I'm in such a weird spot right now with all the messages, so I apologize to my clients right now, because the circle app's going on. There's like redundant. So, there's stuff kind of layered on top of it. Things are slipping through the cracks a little bit, which bums me out. But the class is going on, so whatever. But yeah, no, I don't say I have abs. I mean, I get close-ish to it, but it's just, that's what I'm trying to say. And again, that's why it depends on the body. You know what I mean? People have different bodies, but for me, like, to have abs would take a lot more effort, and it's just not worth it to me. Well, I give a shit. I mean, like, that's the point, there's got to be utility, right? I got an economics. I got minored in economics. So there needs to be utility, to things that we're going to get. And for most people, the utility of an abs, it's very low, you just, cause what are you going to do? And what happens a lot of times? You get the abs and it's like, then you got to find all sorts of situations to show them off. And now you're a pick me. And it's like, you just kind of, most people don't have abs. So most people, you become an outlier. And so again, I know the fairy tale we all live in, but very rarely does that fairy tale come true. Not never, but a lot of times it doesn't. And again, I think that it's just, I'm not saying don't get abs either, by the way, if that's a goal of yours. Cause I remember asking, I remember I always remember this guy. I won't say his name, but I said, what's your motivation to get abs? And he goes, it's like getting a trophy. It's like getting a trophy. And it's like, I was like, I get it, but I'm like, that, you could think that way about anything, and again, I'm not judging this person, but for me, my trophy is my family, my relationships, my life, my work, that I do, playing guitar. I got my trophy things, but it's not the abs thing. I'm not judging anyone. Everyone's got their own trophy things. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but anyways, enough of the abs. Leslie says, family tries to sabotage me in my weight loss. When I refuse junk food, they pick fun at me. Yeah, well, if you're going to be a healthy person in this society, you're going to be an outlier. People are always making fun of me or how I eat. So, yeah, I don't care anymore. I mean, obviously, but it was a little hard in the beginning. I was a weirdo. I mean, I'm still a weirdo. Yeah, a lot of vegetarian hypnotist yoga instructors. You know what I mean? Like it's just outlier shit, whatever. So you got to be okay with being weird if you want to be thin and healthy in this country. Because 75% of the population is overweight or obese. So, if you're at your goal weight, you're part of the minority. You're an outlier. So, yeah. Kermit says, come on, Jim, you're nowhere near skinny fat. You look good. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't think I'm skinny fat. I mean, I get what they're saying, though. I know, because everything's relative. You know what I mean? So in their world, single digit body fat that's where they were all at. You know what I mean? They're all around other people with single digit body fat and stuff. So, anyone that's not in that ballpark, they would call them skinny fat, and so I didn't take offense to it. I got the context of it, but it was interesting. It was interesting stepping into that world. I'll tell you that. Karen says, I feel like if you have low body fat, then technically you do have abs. They might be barely visible, but still. Yeah, exactly. It's always, abs are always just a function of body fat. You know what I mean? No one's building their abs up so much. You know how much work it would take to really, I mean, obviously bodybuilders do that stuff, but people that have abs, majority of people have abs. It's not because they've got well-defined abs, like big muscles. It's because they've got low body fat. So what they always say, I learned this from that whole thing, was that abs are made in the kitchen and shown off in the gym. That's what they always say. So. Okay, Katie's got the link for the class in the call. I don't know why you didn't get the email, though. You should have got a thing. But it doesn't matter, because all that, Katie, is going to go through the Circle app, which is really cool. Like, so all the classes are going to be easy to get to and right in there. So. That with the links to your profile pic, Kermit. Kermit says, also, what breakfast do you usually eat to feel satisfied for longer? Now, again, I will answer this with what I eat, but I want to first say that it depends on the person. You know what I mean? So it's like different people are just different. So it's like, for me, I do well with carbs, you know what I mean? Meaning my satiety, like I can eat carbs and I feel satisfied and good. I can go crazy with them too, but I have found that for me, my breakfast that I eat Monday through Friday, most days, right? Today was a little different, right? So, but most days, breakfast I'm eating, I'll have Ezekiel toast, which is the only toast I would eat. Okay. It's the only bread I'd eat on my clean days. It's sprouted bread instead of flour, natural peanut butter, an apple with peanut butter, and a bunch of water. That's usually my breakfast Monday through Friday. Now, I say that because my breakfast doesn't exist in a vacuum. My breakfast exists within the context of how I eat day in and day out, clean days, pleasure days, all the rest of it. So I'm putting lots of high quality nutrition in my body regularly. And so my breakfast sits on top of that. And I just want to make that clear, because if you just go, okay, tomorrow I'm going to try this. Well, if you're starting with a ultra processed food diet and you go and eat Ezekiel toast, natural peanut butter, apple and peanut butter, and you're used to eating omelets and toast and home fries for breakfast every day, you're going to be starving. You know what I mean? So again, I worked up. That's why I don't really even like to say what I eat, because dieters just want to, oh, I'm going to do that. Well, there's just more to it. You know, there's just a lot of other factors going on. But anyways, that's what I do. Well, he says, I just want to see once. I can see shadows now, so I know I need to lose 50 more pounds. Yeah, well, there you go, Leslie, right? So yeah, if you can see shadows now, that I think you're right on the money with that, actually. Yeah. I think when you can kind of see shadows of a abs, and you're like, oh, I'm only 3-4 pounds away. No, you're like 15 pounds away. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, again, I'm not saying it's like that for everyone, but it was for me, that it seemed like it was this close, but it was a lot farther. And again, fine, but I just have the motivation to do it. Didn't really give a shit. Alicia says, I'm 20 years old, 200 pounds, 5'3", eat 1,200 calories and walk 10,000 steps a day. What can I expect in 6 weeks? Oh, I wouldn't have any clue. You know, I mean, when you start studying weight loss, you very quickly realize that weight loss fluctuates all over the place. They take groups of people, put them in metabolic labs, track every calorie in and out, and people lose wildly different amounts of weight over 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever time they're in there. So again, calorie estimators, calorie calculators are just guesstimates. And I will be honest, I don't know how long you've been doing this for. You probably just started, is the impression I'm getting, because you're in a rush. If something's going on 6 weeks, you're probably going on vacation or something. But you, again, to me, you know, this intense thing for a little while is really the dieter's, you know, death march. Just be honest, you know, it's like you would do some crazy extreme shit, which that's extreme, you know, to go, because you don't get to be 200 pounds eating 1,200 calories a day. Your average calorie consumption is probably around 3,400, 300. Well, you're 5'3" though, but so your average calorie consumption is probably around 27, 28, 3,000 calories a day. And so you're going to reduce that calorie consumption by 60, 70%. And it's going to be really hard. And now you're going to do it. I'm not trying to be negative, by the way. I know I sounds very negative, because when someone says they're going to go on a diet, you're supposed to just pretend, oh, you can do it. Yeah, you just stick to it. You're going to do it. But I'm not doing that, because it's just setting you up for failure. You know what I mean? And all dieters are pretty much failures. Sorry. But so, yeah, I don't know how much you'd lose, but my big question would be, what can you expect in 8 weeks? What can you expect in 10 weeks? That's where my brain goes to. It says, I also feel like those bodybuilders probably all have body dysmorphia because they think normal thin people are skinny fat or something. I would agree with that. I would say bodybuilding is absolutely its own thing. Yeah. Now I respect bodybuilders, because out of all the people that deal with bodies, they really, yeah, hold on a second. It's going to reply to something real quick. Bodybuilders do really walk their talk. I'll give them that, but yeah, that could be true. I don't think Kermit's trolling me. Maybe he is. Some trolls actually come around though, Katie. Believe it or not. When I said, I remember dieting on vacation, then regretting not trying fun new foods. Yeah, exactly, Mario. That's such a thing. You know, that's why, again, vacation holiday eating is a whole part of the program, and you can't do it like a dieter, you know? And that's why I tell you guys this all the time. Like I have lots of statistics in my world, you know, that related to weight, obviously. And so December is the slowest month of the year by a lot. And it's because dieters are all or nothing, you know, and so they're not going to go through the holidays not doing anything. And so they just completely shut it out and just go crazy with it. So again, the secret is moderation, learning how to be moderate. Well, I can't moderate, Jim. Yeah, because you never practiced it. You don't no idea what you're doing. So, but you can get better at moderating. It's a skill set, you know. Yeah, Mario says, I agree. The bodybuilders are very obsessed with bodies and food. It's too much. It is obsessive. It's so obsessive. It's a thing. And again, I'm not knocking it. It's not me to judge. I don't care what people do, but it is definitely a thing. But what I realized talking to so many of them is that I'm not built that way, and I don't have those motivations. But so again, yeah, not judging it, but is a thing. All right, everyone, I'm gonna get out of here. But thank you so much for listening. Appreciate all your comments; they were great today. And if you're not in my world, please go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, watch the video I made. I got a free app I'm giving out. I got the sessions I give out. I give all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it's the way it is. So what was I gonna say? I'm here every day, Monday through Friday. I was a little late today, but I'm usually around noon Eastern. So if you ever have any questions, want to talk about any weight loss stuff, hop on here and let me talk to you. And if you ever watch the replays of this, it's a podcast. It's Program Yourself Thin. It's on all the podcast platforms. Go check it out. Like I said, I do one pretty much every weekday. And holy shit, if we're not up to what numbers, how many have we done? Podcast. This was episode 459. Time flies when you're having fun. So yeah, you can check all those out, and those are there. And yeah, other than that, yeah, have a super day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.